Hi guys, this is the new Jackson 112 and I thought we'd take a few minutes to chat through the features of this board. It's a new size for this year and it follows the general trend in foiling of going much shorter, pocket boards. So let's talk about the key features of this board. A few years ago we never made a board this small, even last year, and that's for two reasons. One, that the general level of foiling we didn't feel was really high enough to justify such a small board. And secondly, it's really the advent of the newer, larger wings on kite hydrofoils that allows ease of use on such a small board. And in fact, this is the only kite foil board I use right now. I can use this board from, let's say, 4 knots of wind average with a 21-meter kite until, well, waves, whatever. Yeah. And as long as I want to foil, this is the only board I need. I ride it sometimes strapped, sometimes strapless, just depends what I want to do and the conditions. What's really critical on a board this size is the rocker. So what you might notice is that the board has less nose scoop than you've seen in the other Jacksons. And this is actually quite a critical feature of such a small board. To ride a small board, you have to achieve a fast enough speed on it when it's in the water for the foil to start to lift you. For this, you need a relatively flat rocker. But on such a small board, if you have a lot of nose scoop, you end up pushing too much water and it's very hard to achieve the speed you need to take off on the foil. So that's the first reason why it's good to have a flatter rocker on such a small board. The second reason is touchdowns. Now, on a 1m12 board, if you breach the foil, you're going to swim. 9 times out of 10, you will swim. And a few more centimeters of nose scoop won't make any difference to that at all. But the other kind of touchdown, which is when mid-maneuver the board touches the water, tacking, jibing, or just jumping and the board touches down, not having rocker or scoop in the nose of the board means that the board keeps its speed, and then it's very easy just to lift up out the water and keep going. When you have too much nose scoop, this acts like a brake and the board directly stops and you have no chance to lift off again. So that's why the 112 has less nose scoop than you might have thought it would. You'll notice as well that the pad on the Jackson 112 doesn't have the raised edges that we had last year. The reason for this is these raised edges, they really help a lot with maneuvering the board when you're in the water, which is very good when you're learning, but as an expert, you're not doing that so much. But also, if you're riding the board strapless, it gives a lot more possibilities of places to put your foot. So the 112 comes now with a flat pad. All of the Jacksons come with our trim track system. This is a really nice feature that lets you trim the position of the foil in the board to where you want. If you're riding strapless, it's not so important because you can move your feet on the board in relation to the foil. But as soon as you put straps on the board, then the foil has to be in exactly the right place or you'll be out of balance and you'll be getting too much front foot pressure, too much back foot. So what the trim tracks let you do is they give an infinite amount of adjustment to make sure the foil is exactly where you want it. In general, the further back that you put the foil, the less sensitive the foil is to pitch. That's the up and down motion of the foil. The further forwards you put the foil, the faster it is and the more balanced you are on the board. So it's really a question for you. In general, lighter riders tend to like the foil a little bit further forwards and heavier a little bit further back, but it's a style thing, you can decide for yourself. If you're going to leave the screws in the board, which with our quick system here that lets you just drop the foil on and slip it into place, if you're going to leave the screws in the board, I would strongly recommend that you just tighten them up before you put them in the car because they can shake loose and there's nothing worse than hunting down screws in the boot of your car when you want to go kiteboarding. So there you have it, new size. It's super convenient for travel because it's so short. It fits in the car easily, it's easy to carry, it's really fun. If you have the ability to ride such a small foil board, it's really fun and you won't go back. We still offer the 140 for people learning to foil and the 128, but I think if you're able to foil, if you're consistently able to make turns staying on the foil, then the 112 is really going to be the board for you now.